The night was colder than usual. The streets were empty, and only the sound of the wind touched the small apartment where Arjun lived. He had just finished his late work, and he wanted nothing more than to rest. The clock on the wall showed 12:07 a.m. Midnight. Arjun sat on his couch, holding a book in his hand, but his eyes were too heavy to read. He placed the book on the table and leaned back. The silence of the room was almost comforting, until it was broken. Ring. Ring. His phone lit up on the table. An unknown number. No name, no saved contact. Arjun frowned. Who could be calling him at this hour? He thought about ignoring it. Maybe it was a mistake. But after a moment of hesitation, he picked it up. Hello. His voice was low and uncertain. There was no reply. For a second, he thought it was a blank call. Then, a whisper came through the line. Don't leave your house tonight, your life is in danger. Arjun froze. His heart started beating faster. Who is this? What are you talking about? He asked. But the line went dead. He stared at his phone screen, confused and unsettled. The words echoed in his head, your life is in danger. Was it a prank? Maybe some friend was trying to scare him? But who would call at midnight just to say that? He shook his head, trying to laugh it off, but the uneasiness remained. He checked the door twice, making sure it was locked, and then pulled the curtains over his window. Still, the strange call kept playing in his mind. Minutes passed. The silence of the room felt heavier now, almost suffocating. Arjun tried to distract himself by turning on the television, but he wasn't paying attention to the screen. His ears were alert, listening for any sound. Then, something made him look outside. Through the small gap of the curtain, he noticed someone standing on the other side of the street. A man. Tall. Still. The streetlight behind him made his face impossible to see, but the outline of his body was clear. He was not moving. Just standing. Watching. Arjun's throat went dry. His mind immediately remembered the warning. Don't leave your house tonight. He tried to convince himself that it was nothing, maybe just a random passerby. But why would someone stand so still at this time of night? And why did it feel like the man's head was turned toward him? He stepped back from the window, his breath shaky. Buzz. Buzz. The phone vibrated again. The same unknown number. His hands trembled as he answered. The same voice whispered, a little faster this time. Don't open the door. Don't look outside for too long. He knows. Arjun's legs felt weak. Who are you? He whispered. Why are you calling me? But again, the line went silent. This was no prank. Something was wrong. Terribly wrong. He tried to calm himself. He locked the window and sat back on the couch, holding the phone tightly. His heartbeat was loud in his ears. Every tick of the clock sounded like thunder in the room. For a few minutes, nothing happened. The man outside was gone. Arjun felt a small relief. Maybe it was his imagination. Maybe the voice on the phone was just some sick joke. But just as he was about to relax, a loud knock echoed through his door. Knock. 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 Slow. Heavy. Almost like someone was testing the door, not just knocking. Arjun jumped up. He moved quietly toward the door, pressing his ear against it. Whoever was outside was not speaking. Only the knocking continued, slow and steady. He forced himself to look through the peephole. His heart dropped. There was no one there. Confused, he pulled back. And then his phone buzzed again. His shaking hands quickly picked it up. The whisper was urgent now. Don't trust the silence. He is still there. Arjun's chest tightened. His apartment, which had felt safe a few minutes ago, now felt like a trap. His instincts screamed at him to run, but his feet were stuck to the floor. He checked the peephole again, still empty. But the voice on the phone made him doubt his own eyes. Was someone really out there? Who was the caller? And most importantly, why him? The fear was no longer in his head. It was real. He could feel it in the air, heavy and suffocating. His night, which had started like any other, had now turned into a nightmare. And it was only the beginning. Arjun stood frozen near the door, phone tight in his hand. The last whisper repeated in his ears, "Don't trust the silence. He is still there." He wanted to believe it was all in his mind, but his body knew better. His palms were sweating, his throat was dry, and every small sound felt louder than it should. The ticking clock, the faint hum of the refrigerator, even the wind outside, everything sounded like a warning. He moved back from the door, slowly, quietly, as if any sudden movement could attract the danger closer. His eyes darted to the window. He wanted to know if the man was still there, but fear stopped him. What if the caller was right? What if looking outside was dangerous? Arjun took a deep breath and finally pulled the curtain just a little. His heart almost stopped. The man was there again. But this time, he wasn't across the street. He was standing right under the streetlight closer to Arjun's building. The yellow light fell on his shoulders, but his face was still hidden in shadow. He didn't move, not even an inch. It was as if he was waiting. Arjun's body shook. He dropped the curtain immediately and stepped back. His mind screamed, "Why me? Who is he?" The phone buzzed again. His hands trembled as he lifted it. "Don't panic," the whisper came, calm but firm. "Listen to me, or you won't survive the night." Arjun's voice cracked as he whispered back, "Who are you? What do you want from me?" The caller ignored his questions. "Don't open the door. Don't answer the knocks. He will try again. If you make a mistake, he will enter." Arjun's chest felt tight. He wanted answers, but all he got were warnings. Still, something inside him believed the caller. His instincts said the voice was telling the truth. Suddenly, a noise from outside the apartment made him freeze. Footsteps. Slow, heavy footsteps moving across the corridor. His heart jumped. Someone was right outside his door. Creak. The sound of his door handle moved gently, like someone was testing it. Arjun held his breath. His eyes stared at the lock, waiting, praying it would hold. The handle turned once, then stopped. Arjun's phone buzzed again. He pressed it to his ear, desperate for guidance. "Don't make a sound," the caller whispered. "He wants you to panic. Stay quiet." Arjun stood still, barely breathing. The handle moved again, harder this time. The sound of frustration came from outside, like someone was trying to force the lock open. Then silence. Minutes passed, but they felt like hours. Finally, the footsteps moved away, fading down the corridor. Arjun's knees gave up, and he sank onto the floor. His heart hammered so loudly it hurt. He pressed the phone tighter. "Who is he? Why is he here? Why me?" His voice shook with fear. The caller sighed on the other end. "You don't know him, but he knows you. And tonight, you were chosen." Arjun's skin crawled at the word chosen. "Chosen for what?" he demanded, but the caller gave no answer. Instead, the whisper came again, "He will come back. Don't think it's over." Arjun's eyes darted to the window. Against his better judgment, he peeked through the curtain again. The man was gone. The street was empty. But that didn't calm him. If the stranger wasn't outside anymore, then where was he? Inside the building? Waiting in the shadows? His phone buzzed once more. This time, the voice was sharper. "Stay away from the window. Stay away from the door. Trust me, I'm the only one keeping you alive right now." Arjun felt trapped. He didn't know whether to believe the caller or not. What if the voice was lying? What if it was all part of the trap? But deep down, his gut told him something important. Ignoring the voice could cost him his life. Another sound echoed from outside, a loud thud, like something heavy had fallen in the corridor. Arjun jumped to his feet. He couldn't take this anymore. He wanted to run, to escape, to be anywhere but here. But the caller spoke again, almost reading his thoughts. "Don't run. He wants you to. The moment you open that door, it will be over." Arjun's breath shook. He pressed his back against the wall, phone in one hand, eyes wide open. His apartment had never felt so small, so unsafe. Every shadow looked like it was moving. Every sound felt like footsteps. The silence stretched again, heavy and painful. Arjun tried to convince himself that maybe it would all end soon, that maybe morning light would make everything normal again. But deep inside, He knew the night had only just begun. The silence inside Arjun's apartment was unbearable. He sat against the wall, clutching his phone like a lifeline. Every muscle in his body was tense. The warning words kept repeating in his head, "Don't open the door. Don't run. He is still there." Arjun forced himself to stand. He needed to think clearly. His eyes scanned the room, locked door, closed windows, dim lights. He was safe, or at least, he wanted to believe that. Suddenly, knock, knock, knock. The sound hit him like thunder. His whole body froze. This knock was different from before. It wasn't heavy and slow. It was sharp, impatient, almost like someone demanding to be let in. Arjun's throat tightened. He stepped closer to the door, just enough to hear. Silence followed. Then another knock, louder this time. Knock, knock. Arjun's phone buzzed in his hand. The whisper came instantly, "Don't touch the door. Don't answer him. Remember what I told you." Arjun whispered back, voice shaking, "Who is he? What does he want from me?" But the caller ignored the question. "Stay away from the door. He wants you to come close. He wants to know you are there." Arjun's chest felt heavy. His fear was now mixed with anger. He was tired of unanswered questions. He shouted at the door, "Who are you? What do you want?" The knocking stopped. For a long second, there was nothing. Then, a low, chilling sound slipped through the door. A laugh. Cold. Slow. Inhuman. Arjun stepped back immediately. His heart slammed against his ribs. That laugh wasn't normal. It wasn't just a person playing games, it felt darker, more dangerous. The phone buzzed again. The caller's voice was urgent now. "Don't speak to him. Don't let him know your fear. Stay quiet, or you'll give him strength." Arjun's knees weakened. He leaned against the wall, covering his mouth with his hand. His whole body shook as he tried to control his breathing. After a while, the sound outside faded. No more knocking. No more laughter. Arjun thought maybe it was over, but deep down, he knew better. He slowly walked to the peephole, telling himself not to look. But curiosity won. He pressed his eye against the tiny glass. Nothing. The corridor was empty. He let out a shaky breath. Maybe the caller was exaggerating. Maybe there was nothing there after all. Then, in a split second, something moved. A shadow. Someone passed the peephole too quickly to see. Arjun jumped back, heart racing. He stumbled onto the couch, gripping his phone tightly. The screen lit up again. Same unknown number. He answered with trembling fingers. The whisper came immediately, "I told you not to look. He knows you saw him. Now he won't stop." Arjun pressed his hand against his forehead. "Please," he begged. "Tell me what's happening. Who is he? Why me?" This time, the caller gave a piece of truth. His voice was heavy, filled with pain. 5 years ago, he killed someone I loved. He waits outside houses, watches, chooses. Tonight, he chose you." Arjun's blood ran cold. His lips trembled. "Chose me? For what?" The caller did not answer. Instead, he said, "He won't leave until he has what he came for. You can't fight him. You can only survive him." Before Arjun could reply, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen. His eyes widened. His body froze. That sound wasn't from outside, it was from inside his apartment. He turned his head slowly. The lights in the kitchen flickered once, then went dark. His phone buzzed again, the whisper sharper than ever, "Don't move. Don't make a sound. He's inside now." Arjun's breath caught in his throat. His hands shook so badly he almost dropped the phone. The nightmare wasn't outside the door anymore. It had entered his home. Arjun's hands were shaking so badly he could hardly hold the phone. The caller's whisper echoed in his ears, "Don't move. Don't make a sound. He's inside now." Arjun's chest tightened. His eyes darted toward the kitchen. The light was gone, the room swallowed in darkness. Every shadow looked alive. Every second felt like an hour. He wanted to believe it wasn't true. Maybe the noise was something else. Maybe nothing was there. But deep inside, he knew the caller wasn't lying. Slowly, carefully, Arjun pressed his back against the wall. He tried to quiet his breathing, tried to make no sound. His apartment had never felt so small, so unsafe. Then he heard it. Creak. The floorboards in the kitchen groaned under a heavy step. Arjun's entire body froze. Another step. Slow. Deliberate. Someone, or something, was moving closer. The phone buzzed softly in his hand. The whisper came again, calm but urgent, "He doesn't see well in the dark. Stay still. Don't let him hear you." Arjun closed his eyes, holding his breath. Sweat ran down his face. He wished it was all a dream, that he could wake up and laugh about it in the morning. But the sound of those footsteps told him otherwise. Minutes passed. The noise stopped. The silence was worse than the sound. Arjun whispered as quietly as he could, "Why is he here? Why me?" For the first time, the caller answered with more than warnings. His voice was low, heavy with pain. "Because he chooses. He waits, he watches. And when he decides, nothing can stop him. 5 years ago, he chose my best friend. I couldn't save him. But tonight, I can save you, if you listen." Arjun's throat was dry. "How do you know all this? Who are you?" There was a long pause. Then the caller said, "I was a detective. I chased him for years. I studied his patterns. I know how he hunts. And tonight, I followed him to your street." Arjun's heart pounded even harder. A detective. Was this real? He didn't know whether to feel safer or more terrified. The voice continued, "He kills in silence. He never leaves evidence. That's why no one believes me. But I swore after my friend's death, I wouldn't let him take another life. That's why I called you." Arjun swallowed hard. The truth sent chills down his spine. He wasn't dealing with a prank or a ghost story. This was real. A real killer. A real threat. Suddenly, another sound cut through the air. Tap. 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 It came from the hallway, light fingers brushing against the wall. Almost playful. Almost mocking. Arjun's knees weakened. He wanted to scream, to run, but he stayed frozen, remembering the warning. The whisper on the phone sharpened. "Don't move. Don't let him know where you are. He feeds on fear." Arjun pressed a hand over his mouth, forcing himself to stay silent. The tapping moved closer, then stopped. A faint laugh echoed through the dark hallway. The same cold laugh he had heard outside his door. Arjun squeezed his eyes shut. He prayed it would end. Then, the caller's voice came again, softer this time, almost like a confession. "Listen to me carefully. Tonight, he came for you. But I swear I won't let what happened to my friend happen again. I'll guide you out of this. But you must trust me completely." Arjun whispered back, shaking, "What do I do? Tell me what to do." The voice replied, "When I tell you to move, you move. When I tell you to run, you run. Don't question it. Don't hesitate. That's the only way you'll live." Arjun nodded, even though the caller couldn't see him. His body was trembling, but he forced himself to hold the phone tighter. The silence stretched again. Then, suddenly, bang! The sound of something heavy crashing in the kitchen made Arjun flinch. He almost screamed but held it back. The caller whispered sharply, "Stay where you are. He's searching. Don't let him hear you." Arjun's mind raced. Every second felt like his last. The shadows seemed to close in on him. The caller spoke again, voice steady but urgent, "You ask me why he chose you. I don't know the full answer. But what I do know is this, he never lets go once he decides. If you survive tonight, you'll never be the same. He will always be watching." Arjun's blood ran cold. Before he could reply, a new sound came, footsteps approaching his living room. Slow. Heavy. Closer. The nightmare was no longer in the kitchen. It was heading straight toward him. And there was nowhere left to hide. Arjun's heart hammered as the footsteps grew louder. They were no longer in the kitchen, they were moving toward the living room, toward him. Each step was slow, heavy, deliberate, like the sound of death itself approaching. He pressed his back harder against the wall, clutching the phone as if it were his only shield. His breathing was shallow, ragged, almost loud enough to give him away. The phone buzzed softly in his hand. The whisper came, "It's time. You can't stay there anymore. He's too close." Arjun whispered back, almost choking on fear, "Where do I go?" "He's here." The caller's voice was sharp now, urgent. "Listen to me. Don't use the front door. That's what he wants. There's only one way out, through the fire escape. Move quickly, quietly." Arjun's eyes darted toward the small window in the corner of the living room. Behind the curtain, he knew, was the fire escape that led down to the street. But to reach it, he would have to cross the living room. And the footsteps, they were already there. He shook his head, whispering desperately, "I can't. He'll see me. He'll hear me." The caller's whisper grew firm, almost commanding. "Trust me. If you stay, you die. Move now." Arjun's whole body trembled. He took a deep breath, gathered every ounce of courage he had left, and stepped away from the wall. The floor creaked under his foot. Stop. The footsteps in the room stopped too. Arjun's blood turned cold. The silence was unbearable. He could almost feel eyes on him, watching, waiting. The caller whispered again, sharper than ever, "Don't freeze. Go now." Arjun pushed himself forward, moving as fast and quietly as he could. His eyes never left the window. Each step felt like a mile. Behind him, he heard it. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of fingers brushing the wall. The killer was close. Arjun ripped the curtain aside, fumbling with the window lock. His hands shook violently. The lock clicked open just as a shadow moved in the corner of his eye. He shoved the window up, the cold night air rushing inside. Without thinking, he climbed onto the fire escape. The metal stairs groaned under his weight. The phone buzzed again. The caller's voice came quickly, "Don't stop. Go down. Don't look back, no matter what." Arjun obeyed. His legs moved faster than his mind, his hands gripping the cold rails as he rushed down. Every sound echoed, the clanging of the steps, the pounding of his heart, the whisper in his ear. Halfway down, he heard it. A new sound. Clang. The window above slammed open. Arjun didn't dare look up, but he knew. The killer was there, watching him. The whisper in his phone grew urgent. "Run. To the streetlight. Go straight to the streetlight, and don't turn back." Arjun's legs burned as he descended the last steps. He jumped the final few, landing hard on the pavement. His chest screamed for air, but he didn't stop. The street was empty, dark except for a single flickering streetlight at the corner. That was his target. His only hope. He sprinted toward it, his footsteps echoing through the night. His mind screamed for him to look back, to see if the killer was chasing. But the caller's warning repeated in his head, "Don't look back." Every second felt endless. His lungs burned, his legs felt heavy, but the streetlight grew closer, brighter. Then he heard it. Footsteps. Not his own. Heavy. Fast. Behind him. The killer was chasing. Arjun pushed harder, his breath ragged. The streetlight was only a few steps away now. He could see the faint outline of a car parked beside it. Hope flickered in his chest. The phone buzzed one last time. The whisper shouted in his ear, "Now. Run to the car. Don't stop." Arjun stumbled toward the streetlight. The headlights of a car flashed on. A figure stepped out, police uniform, gun raised, shouting for him to come. Relief flooded Arjun's chest. He threw himself forward, collapsing near the car as the officer pulled him inside. For the first time all night, he felt a glimpse of safety. But as the car doors slammed shut, Arjun dared to look back at the darkness he had escaped. And there, in the distance, he saw him. The killer. Standing perfectly still under the shadows. Watching. Not defeated. Not gone. Just waiting. Arjun sat in the back seat of the police car, gasping for air. His hands shook so badly he could barely hold his phone anymore. Sweat clung to his forehead, but it wasn't from running, it was from fear. The officer in the driver's seat glanced at him. "You're safe now. We've been tracking that man for weeks," he said firmly, though his eyes in the rearview mirror showed worry. Arjun tried to calm himself, but his voice cracked as he asked, Who was he? Why me?" Before the officer could answer, the phone buzzed in Arjun's trembling hand. Same unknown number. He lifted it to his ear. The familiar whisper came, softer now. "You did it. You survived." Arjun's chest tightened. His voice broke. "Who are you really? You said you were a detective. Why are you helping me?" For the first time, the whisper wasn't rushed. It carried a weight of years, of sorrow. 5 years ago, my best friend received the same call you did. I warned him, but he didn't listen. That night, the man killed him right in front of his home. I couldn't save him. Since then, I've been waiting for the moment I could stop the killer. Tonight, that moment came. I wasn't going to lose you too. Arjun's throat burned. He wanted to say thank you, but words failed him. The officer spoke again, his voice steady. "We'll take you to the station. You'll be safe there until morning. After that, we'll figure out what to do next." But Arjun's relief didn't last long. Something gnawed at his mind. He remembered the last thing the caller said before, the killer never lets go once he chooses. He looked out the window. The streets were empty. The flickering streetlight behind them grew smaller and smaller. But in the shadows between buildings, he swore he saw movement. The whisper on the phone returned, more serious this time. "Listen carefully. He's not finished. You survived tonight, but he will follow you. He always does." Arjun's chest tightened again. "What do you mean?" "The police are here. I'm safe now." The whisper paused. Then, almost painfully, it said, "No one is safe from him. Not until he chooses another." Arjun's stomach twisted. He didn't want to believe it, but deep down, he knew it was true. The killer's eyes, the way he just stood in the shadows, watching, it wasn't over. The police car stopped at a red light. The night outside was silent. Too silent. Arjun turned his head, and his blood froze. Across the street, under another dim streetlight, stood the same tall figure. Unmoving. Watching. His face still hidden in shadow, but his presence clear. Arjun's hands shook as he whispered into the phone, "He's here, he's watching." The caller's voice came quickly, "Don't look at him. Don't let him know you see. Keep your eyes down." Arjun tried, but it was too late. His gaze had already locked with the shadow. He could feel it. The weight of those unseen eyes. The officer in the front muttered, "Damn it. He's following us." He reached for the radio, calling for backup. The car sped forward, leaving the streetlight behind. But the fear stayed with Arjun. The whisper came one last time, steady and haunting, "Remember this night, Arjun. That one phone call saved your life. But as long as he's out there, you'll never truly be free. He will wait. He will watch. And one day, he may call again." The line went dead. Arjun sat frozen in the back seat, the phone slipping from his hand. His eyes stared blankly out the window, where every shadow looked darker than before. He was alive. But the nightmare wasn't over. Because somewhere in the darkness, the killer was still watching. And waiting.